Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. That is so dumb. Hello. Welcome to this video. I'm just getting in a quick one before my next client. I had a comment come up on my page about, it was just a comment in passing about high fat, low carb diet. Now, I had a problem with it. Let me explain why. Because not with like the practical applications of what necessarily happens in the diet, but the way it's titled, it's, to me, I think it's misleading and it misses the point. Um, Let me explain why. Even in what you would call a relatively high fat diet, fat is still the smallest player in terms of what's on your plate. It's still a very small percentage. Um, and I see a lot of carb phobic diets that are omitting good carbohydrates. So I think it's important to know and differentiate between what's a good carb and a good and a not so good carb. So let me wrap it up for you real quick. Firstly, carbohydrate is a very, very broad term. Basically anything that is grown from the ground or grows in the ground has carbohydrates in it. So even your green and leafy vegetables, even your sweet potato, actually especially your sweet potato, and just anything that grows out of the ground. Now what determines a good and bad carbohydrate is firstly what your goals are. So let's talk in the terms of weight loss. So a good carb in terms of weight loss is something that's not going to spike your insulin levels very, very quickly. Guys, for those of you that don't know, insulin is something, it's a hormone that's released when you eat something. Now, depending on the GI, the glycemic index, depends on how much insulin goes in and how drastically it alters your blood sugar levels. So we don't want it to spike up too high too quickly because it's going to make it boom, crash. Every time that crash happens, your body just wants to get fatter. It wants to store fat because it doesn't feel safe in using energy. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So good carbohydrates, but basically anything that's green, that is nutrient dense, is going to be considered a good carbohydrate. It's going to help you lose weight. And then protein is essential for everybody, whether you're losing weight or wanting to get a little bit bigger in terms of muscle mass. So to summarize, I guess, you don't want to characterize a diet or an eating plan according to the smallest player on the plate. It just doesn't make sense at all. And also, I mean, they probably do it, but you want to look at the quality of the fats. So a quality fat is going to be grass-fed and organic. If it doesn't come from an animal, which most of it will come from an animal, animal fat's good, by the way, shock and awe. It's going to come from a coconut or an avocado or an olive. These are all good fats. So yeah, anyway, you want to characterize your eating plan or your meal according to what matters most. What matters most is it being nutrient dense, so micronutrient dense, so vitamins and minerals and things like that. It needs to be balanced in terms of macronutrients, so you need to have a good combination of proteins, carbs, and fats. Now that's going to change a little bit for everybody. That's the stuff that you want to be looking at. So the density of micronutrients and trace elements and things like that, and also the balance of macronutrients. Typically, I'm saying typically, it might not necessarily be right for you, but you're looking at about maybe 15 to 30% of your plate being protein, a good source of protein. For most people, animal protein, we're going to react very well to that. And then the rest of your plate is going to come from green and leafy vegetables. Now, in terms of how much carbohydrate you should be eating, it is determined by your carb tolerance, or basically how insulin sensitive you are. Here's a really, really easy way to find out how insulin sensitive you are. You get these two fingers here, you get your hands on your stomach, and depending on how big a pinch you get, if you get pinch about yay big, you're alright. You can eat some carbohydrates. But if it starts getting out here, that'll tell you that you're not very insulin sensitive, and you shouldn't be eating a lot of carbohydrates. That's carbs, proteins, and fats in a nutshell, and why I don't love calling a diet by its high fat, low carb, so to speak. Anyway, I hope this video helps and it gets you on the right track. If you have any questions, please comment, and if you liked it, like it. Have a good one.